What's bracking, guys? Welcome to another episode of my FC Cincinnati career mode. A huge episode here as we're trying to secure one of those final playoff spots. I will take a look at the calendar first. We're playing Toronto FC first and Montreal Impact. They're respectively 11th and 12th in the Eastern Conference. So the two worst teams in the conference. Then we play against Atlanta United, DC United, Orlando City, along with I forgot who the last one was. But either way, it's going to be a huge episode. Chicago Fire also, who are in the playoff race, but you can see Toronto FC and Montreal Impact are 12th, Orlando City 8th, 3 points behind us. So that's going to be a huge match, along with Atlanta United, who are 4 points behind us. But our preferred 11 is very tied for this matchup, so we're going to have to play the backups. The youngster Soto, who we bought earlier on in the season, was one of our first purchases. The young American striker really shined in the U20 World Cup, can have a big opportunity. Along with some of our other youth players, we have a young Canadian center back, Smith, who is quality. He's really good physically. He's going to be an incredible center back by the time he hits that potential, and he already is looking very good physically. But Toronto FC, they have lost quite a few of their key players. They did sell Josie Altidore, and there's just a lot of movement around in the team. You'll end up seeing their lineup in a second. I think it seems like MLS teams really sell a lot of their players in career mode in general. But our goalkeeper is Juan Granero, a young Mexican goalkeeper from the youth academy, and again Tyler Smith, a really promising young center back. Marco Farfan, who we bought as our future left back. Then Joe Zhao, a very good young winger. He's not super young, he's like 26, but he's very pacey. So we're gonna be asking for him to create quite a bit. A lot of other backup players though who haven't played too much. So we'll take a look at Toronto FC's lineup. They do have some kind of experienced American players. There's Gonzalez and Bradley. Then Delgado's a decent MLS player. Pozuelo is solid as well, but they did lose Josie Altidore and have Mullins up top. And I think since they lost Altidore, they are not performing well, clearly being 11th in the table. With the ball bouncing around here in the box, Pozuelo looks to be very good on the ball. Look at that. Those little cuts, making the space. Going to try to play that ball through. Granero makes a huge save. It was offsides, but you can see the talent of Granero. He is a very good young goalkeeper. He's like 72 overall at the moment, and he has the potential to hit like 90 or something like that, I believe it is. Now something being played here through here, having a go near post, but unfortunately hits that a bit wide, but that was a huge opportunity for him, and those are the type of chances he really needs to take as a young striker. Still has tons of potential, tons of room to grow, but we like to see him be a bit more productive in a situation like that. Now Bone running at the defense, playing Soto through again. He has a bit of a pace to him, and also Moore and Gonzalez are not very, very pacey. Trying to sweat the ball across, but unfortunately could not get that to Bone, who was making the better run in. Put a little bit too much on that, and they were able to clear that out. Now cross in, and that is thankfully deflected by Smith. That looks like it was going to cause a lot of troubles for Granell there. That was a very powerful volley. As they're going to play the ball back in here, looks like they might put a cross, and it's actually going to cut back as Delgado to Gonzalez. Thankfully, that is a center back on that. Otherwise, we could be 1-0 down against the 11th place team in the Eastern Conference. He really shanked that, hit that well over. That is a center back finish for sure. Now, moving on here, the 31st minute, some good play again from Toronto FC, connecting right here, but thankfully, it just goes wide, it looks like. Our Granado just got a touch to that, actually. We have to look at the replay. I think he just got a touch. Pozuelo has been so good. He's a wonderful player. And look at that full stretch. Just gets a palm to that one. Incredible save from the youngster Granero. We are seeing why he's pretty much taking over the starting spot. He's going to be starting for both the kind of backup team and the first team, as unfortunately a good opportunity is blocked. A great interception from the defender there, and a big chance. It looks like ball fell back perfectly to Mullins after an interception, and thankfully that one goes well wide. Toronto FC definitely looked like the better team. We did have kind of one fairly clear chance, but other than that, Toronto FC has been very dangerous now, getting back down this wing, completely destroys Farfan there. Schaffelberg back to the fullback Auro. He's going to do a good little cutback move right there, little kind of fake shot thing. He played the ball through. It just probably took one little pass too much. He just had a shot at goal there, trying to be cute with a little kind of tiki-taka type play in the box. Really bad pass. The passing was pretty poor from us, along with the opposition. I'm not sure how they lost that. Iloa will play the ball through here to Soto, who's going to be through, going to have a go far post. Unfortunately, that has tons of power on it. The goalkeeper really cannot do too much. Let's see, it was physically in front right there because that was such a close angle. And Soto does a good job finishing all that in the end. So a lovely finish from the young American striker. He did, of course, struggle with a couple of the chances he had earlier, but in the end, he grabs that goal, a good side netting finish to put us up 1-0. But I mean, Toronto was honestly probably you can maybe consider them the better side here, but the 92nd minute kind of slowed down after that goal. They might have one more chance for De Leon playing Osorio, and Mullins is going to have a just terrible pass right there. And thankfully, we had things out, and I just don't know what's up with the AI right there. Just some of the weird passing around the box. I don't like that. It's just weird to me. This is since the recent patch as well. I feel like they're a little bit more lethal around the box before the patch. So I don't know. It's just a bit frustrating because honestly, I was actually enjoying career mode quite a bit, but we have stuff like this happening, and honestly, playing the games has been kind of a bit difficult. It's hard to be interested in them as much, but I do think despite that, we have a wonderful narrative to give here, and that's really why I'm doing this career mode and my other career mode as well, Youth Academy career mode. I love creating stories in this, and I think, trying to rebuild FC Cincinnati, turn them into a good squad. They have just a lovely squad with tons of different types of players, obviously, just guys who are trying to redeem their careers, revive their careers, and youngsters trying to jumpstart their careers also. So that's really been the whole story of this career mode, and I think we'll really accomplish that in the end, despite the gameplay being a bit strange here and there. But now facing Montreal Impact, who are by far the worst team. I think they might be the worst team in the league in general, but it seems like those bad teams are the ones who really push forward and really create things, as is some good build-up play in the box. I don't know why he went all the way back to the wing there. Despite that, Ruiti with a great turn. Thankfully, Waston gets to that one. If that touch was a little bit cleaner, I think they could have probably had a goal in that little chance, that kind of half chance. Now Mane running at the defense, giving the ball to Amaya though. Back to Maddox, gonna try to play the ball through to Cruz. Does a good job holding on that one, fighting for that ball. Maddox gonna wait for the run of Amaya, and he's gonna put that one in the back of the net. Not sure what the goalkeeper was doing there. He was trying to position himself, I guess maybe put off Amaya, but he just looked completely lost. You see that with goalkeepers sometimes in this game, especially the low-rated ones. They just kind of get lost in there, and they just kind of like run around, do that little animation, and then just kind of flail at the ball. But either way, Amaya with a very good finish in the end. Hit that pretty close to the keeper. Keeper might have gotten to that one if he had a bit better reactions in the end. But Maya with his 4th goal of the season, the lovely young American center mid. I really rate him in real life, and I hope the best for his career, and I'm glad to see him doing well for us also in this career mode. So Maddox playing the ball to Bertone, back to Maddox, and going to sweat the ball across to Cruz, who's going to finish that. I thought that maybe the goalkeeper, the defender, was going to catch up to that, because he took a touch, and all he had to do was just tap that ball, guide it into the back of the net. In a weird celebration, obviously, I kind of cut it out, standing at the goal. 5 goals, though, for Cruz and MLS. Midfielders have really been doing a good job. I just really like developing these players as Cruz and Amaya. Obviously, they're pretty short. They're not the best defensively, but still, they nearly get this one back, though. Get one back. A good cross, but just not the best touch for anything as a routine. As we'll move on to the second half here. Good play, Maddox. Back to Amaya, gonna find Mane, and beautiful triangle back to Maddox, and he's gonna finish that, put that one in the back of the net for a 3-0 lead. So yeah, pretty easy a match. After that, we got the goal. It seems like once you grab the goal, for the most part, the opposition kind of slows down. I don't know what it is, but that's how it felt with a lot of these games I've played recently, at least. So a good goal in the end. Love to see that triangle, that connection between the strikers and the midfield. That is exactly what Cheek Clapper is trying to institute with his side. But 9 goals on the season for Darren Maddox. A great performance. Great all-around performance from the squad in general. As we end up winning this one 3-0, a pretty comfortable victory in the end. It did look like we are going to have some problems at the start, but despite that, 9 shots, 4 on target. Montreal only had 2 shots and 2 on target, so we really kind of dominated this game. Also had 58% possession in the end. So moving on to some training, you can see Guarano, we're trying to continue to train him. Powell, we want to improve him defensively. Bertone as well defensively, and Cruz. I want to get his vision up, because only 62 vision for a cam is kind of why I think he's a bit lower rated in my opinion. So all those mental attributes, little attributes here and there, train those up, then I think that can really help the overall in general. So 7th place now at the moment, 41 points. Orlando City is 6 points away. We do have a game in hand on them, and we have a game in hand yeah, have a game on hand on them. Atlanta United, though, has one game in hand and is 7 points away. But still, I think I'm going to sim a little bit just to make things more interesting because, like I said before, guys, it's a little bit too easy playing these games, and there's been some match congestion as well. So we're going to put this second squad in, sim this one, and see how the result goes. I'm sorry about the simming, but unfortunately, it's just a bit hard to play these games with how easy they can be at times. The second team will give us more troubles when I'm playing it, but I still seem to kind of grind out like 1-0 victories with them. We'll sim the next one even against Chicago, and you'll see we end up losing it. So that is good. Going to give us a bit of more narrative, something to play for here in this matchup against Orlando City. As we mentioned before, Orlando City has been very close to us throughout this year in the table. They beat us in a thrilling, I think it was like 4-2 matchup early on in the season also. So this is going to be not going to be an easy match for sure, and it's going to make things fun here as we try to make sure we secure that playoff spot. We'll take a look at the table in the second also. This is going to show it fairly quickly. So we are on 41 points. Orlando City's on 38. So we had the better goal differential, but it's still going to be a big matchup, as I'm not sure what the tiebreaker is in MLS, or if it's really going to reflect in FIFA is another thing also. I do think tiebreakers like head-to-head or something is a bit different tiebreaker in MLS compared to other leagues. But regardless, we'll take a look at our lineup here. It's pretty much the usual lineup. I did change some of the numbers also. Granado, I gave him the number 1. Then Pau, Van der Werf, Vosten, Garza, Amaya gave the number 8. Bertona is the number 6. Cruz is our 10. Green number 7. Mane 31. Maddox 11. So we have our usual starting 11 in there. But I think next season we're definitely going to see some changes in that starting 11, guys. As of course I bought some good young players such as Soto, Farfan, and we have some good youth academy players as well, such as Smith, and you'll see a couple others in future episodes as well. So we'll take a look at Orlando City's roster, their squad, their lineup here. Nani, of course, a wonderful player. Dwyer's always been a decent MLS player. Kleshton also, Rossell, and Johnson is quite an older player. Costa was actually trying to sign the young fullback, but he's actually on loan at Orlando City, so I cannot sign him like I'd hoped. I wanted to get him over Marco Farfan, but in the end, Farfan is a very good young fullback as well with a lot of potential. So we'll move on here, get into this match, a very exciting one. It's going to be deciding the playoffs, and Orlando City really came out firing, playing a good ball over the top here. Looked like he had the pass in, just avoided him, but we get the block in the end after that. That's found someone, and again, another block. I think that parry could have been very dangerous. He had 2 people lurking around right there. Is going to put a cross in. Good job for Van der Werf getting that one out. Cruz back to Powell. Powell's going to use his strength to try to play this one through. Probably should have cleared it, but in the end we get the second ball. Back to Maddox, going to play Green into some space. We'll see if this is our chance to go ahead in the 13th minute. He has plenty of space here, some runs coming in. He's going to look for the sweat across to Cruz, but unfortunately a huge save from the Orlando City goalkeeper. Brian Rowe, I believe it was, who's played a lot in the MLS, been in the MLS for years, kind of a backup goalkeeper for LA Galaxy for a long time, getting the start and coming with a huge save for his club. Now a chance from Orlando City, playing the ball across, but thankfully Van der Werf just gets to that one and tries to clear things out. Nearly led to disaster right there, but Van der Werf with a huge clearance, just getting in front of his man to prevent that little sweat across. That looked like a for sure goal if someone gets to the end of that. Now playing Cruz through here into some space. He's going to try to cut back, look for a run, back into Maddox, back to Bertone, has a weird shot, it falls back to Maddox somehow, and that is really pure luck in the end. I just took a shot because there was really no other options. It's not going to play it back there. We're in the box. We get lucky, somehow hit the post, and it falls back to Maddox. That is just pure luck. You can see just a swing, took a wild swing on that one, and somehow it falls to us, and we grab a goal. That is just kind of pure luck in that instance, but we will take it. Maddox has been on fire really in these past few games. I mean, that's a wonderful goal from him in the end, and we will absolutely take it. See how many goals he's on the season. 11 goals, and then we'll see how Orlando City responds after they were really attacking us very well. They had a couple kind of opportunities that we stopped, some good blocks and everything, and defensive interceptions, but in the end we'll see the ball fall back here to Dwyer. He's going to turn and play the ball to Rosell, who's going to hit that one into the back of the net. A very good shot from Uri Rosell. Another player who's been MLS for a long time. He went to Portugal for a bit and came back to MLS, and he is showing his quality there with that finish. Dwyer with some very good hold-up play with the layoff, playing Rosell, and really Granero had no chance. That's into the side netting. That is going to be very difficult to stop. I mean, he nearly got his hand to that, but still, that is a very difficult one, especially when it's kind of on the ground like that and you've got some bodies in front of you. As we get in here into the 40th minute, Tumane back out on the wing. Cruz is going to play the ball back to Max, going to play the ball to Bertone, but a huge deflection. I think that was from Acosta. A good block from him. You can see exactly why we went after him. He's a quality player, but again, he was on loan, so I couldn't purchase him. Bertone with a good ball back out to Mane. A great touch. Going to try to play the ball here near post, but a great interception as well. A good interception from the Orlando City defender to prevent that from what looked like another sure goal. And now the ball is played in here. A good triangle back to Rosell, who's going to have an effort, and Granero with a huge save. Moving over to the left side, using his right hand to parry that out for a corner kick. So good work in the end and not let that spill. Now, Maddox can be played through by Amaya and try to cut the ball back to Maya. And again, a big kind of deflection or block right there to keep things level from the Orlando City defense. Some great last-ditch defending from them as Garza is going to get here into some space. Back to Cruz. Back to Bertone. Is going to have a go, and a big save again by Brian Rowe. Bertone usually finishes those chances. Maybe could have gone near post, but in the end, a great save regardless from the Orlando City goalkeeper. Now Cruz played here into some space, play the ball back to Green, and look for a ball across, but unfortunately doesn't work out. They do clear it out very poorly. Back to Maya, back to Bertone. A very good turn, because I'm going to play the ball across to Max, and there we go. The 2-1 lead in the 70th minute. That was an interesting sequence. I think a better clearance, and Orlando would still be tied with us. They just really cleared that out very nonchalantly, and that is what led to that goal. Let us get that possession back to create this chance. But a great turn, and Maddox in the perfect spot. The touch was a bit interesting, but in the end, we will take the goal regardless. I thought that touch might have put him in a tough spot and let Rowe get a good chance to get it back across to try to save that one. But Cheek Clapper's happy. You can see him very emotional. Glad to see his side looking like they could for sure shore up that last playoff spot. It looks like could be in their hands. So of course, it's always tough for these new teams in MLS to try to get those playoff spots, so it'd be a very big accomplishment for him, especially considering the fact his team didn't really have all that much money. But Amaya going to get the ball here, play the ball back across from Maddox, and again, a very similar goal. Just a good run in behind from Amaya there, and then ends up finding that ball across for Maddox in the end. So that's the type of football we like to see. Amaya just does a good job finding that, and I think it was Cruz that played Amaya through before as well. So the midfield connecting very nicely in that goal as Maddox now has his 13th goal of the season and has a hat trick as well in a big match. He really was not going to start either, was the funny thing, but Soto had a big injury that put him out for quite a few months. So that's what led to Max getting this chance. As a huge switch ball from Bertone, he just sees Green pretty wide open out on that wing. Green's going to chip it here to Cruz, who's going to hit this one off the volley, kind of half volley, and that is a beautiful goal in the end to win this one 4-1. That is just beautiful football. I think Orlando City really was shook, though. It just seems like a lot of these times when teams do go down, they need to respond a bit better in FIFA at least. They really will push for the goal when it's all tied up, but it seems like in these type of instances, they're not as clinical as they could be. Either way, though, 4-1 victory against Orlando City was a huge match. We'll take a look at the table to see if he really secured that spot, because I think if New England lost or did not, or maybe grabbed a point, I think we'll for sure have that 7th spot and not really have to play against DC United, put a backup squad in just to give some players some rest. Because I know MLS schedule is pretty weird. Pretty much you play that playoff game if you're like the seventh place or whatever. You play it like just kind of a week or something or less after your final regular season matchup. So you can see we're on 44 points. Behind us in 40 points is New England and 38 Orlando City, 35 Atlanta United. So basically we have secured that playoff spot, and we can play a backup squad here against DC United as we kind of wrap up this episode now then. But thank you guys really for all the support as we'll take a look at the U Squad monthly report. A very good young CDM in Lucas Banks. Physically, really nothing amazing at the moment, but he's actually solid technically. His stamina is good actually, and he has pretty high potential. It looks like as the other players. I think we're gonna reject them honestly. I mean, we have a good goalkeeper in Granero. Could have maybe took the other goalkeeper, but regardless, I think it's probably only have a season or two left in this career mode. So we did end up putting that backup squad, and we do lose that 1-2-1. That has no effect on us though. We didn't have any ability to improve in the table or anything like that. It was a showcase training again one more time. A Pal up to a 69, nice. And Cruz looks to be very close to 69, also nice, along with Bertone. So pretty much most of our starting 11 is going to be above a 70 mark, I would say, either by the end of the season or kind of into the next season. Probably after a few training sessions next season, we should all be above there. But we can take a look at some of the growth here. Obviously, Granero had amazing growth. I mean, and I also am going to be just kind of offering contracts to some of these players. As you can see, most of the team is unhappy. I think that's the main thing I was focusing on. You can see all these unhappy morales. I pretty much just sorted them out by their morale and tried to improve some of them with their contract offers. I don't know why they're upset at their performance and all that, but it's just weird, honestly, guys. I personally do not understand this new morale system. It's pretty unpredictable because even at the start of new seasons, I remember showcasing in one of my videos, my career mode review video, and basically at the start of new seasons, everyone will have crap morale no matter what, is what I was noticing before. I did kind of reject some of these renewals and for the ones that had release clauses, and I just ended up doing it later on screen. So kind of weird to see all that stuff happening here in career mode, but I really hope things do change because I am honestly enjoying this career mode quite a bit. It's gonna be pretty fun. It's been pretty fun for me. Even though the gameplay might not be amazing, I do like having just kind of a story to tell with these career modes. I think that's kind of a big thing for me, guys. But either way, we are gonna be playing in that first round. Obviously, ended up finishing 7th. With New England just behind us in the end. Of course, we did kind of sim that last match. Could have maybe pushed into closer to one of those 5th or 6th spots if we would have performed better throughout the season. Didn't sim as much. But I also think it's kind of realistic for us to finish where we were at. But I also think that it looks like MLS teams sell a lot of their players also, so that could kind of be the reason why some teams are underperforming. But in the end, we'll take a look at the final regular season goal tallies. So basically, Maddox had 13 goals, which put him tied with quite a few players. So kind of in the top 12 essentially. I mean, he's tied with a couple other guys, so did pretty well here. And then Bertone, I think, was the next one up. Also, he had quite a few goals as well. So yeah. Good performance from Maddox this year. He was not expected to start, but in the end showed off. Bertone had 12 on him, so just behind Maddox in the goal tally. Of course, for a midfielder, that's pretty ridiculous, but he does make some really good runs in the box, and it's kind of why he's at that. Maddox also had 9 assists. He led the team in assists along with goals in the regular season. That is a very promising statistic. And I think Alan Cruz is kind of the next one in the goal and the assist tallies, along with Mane, as those are kind of the guys who really kind of led. Cruz had 7 assists, so tied with quite a few players. Then Mane had 6 assists. Pretty good contributions from our midfield in general. Of course, with the goals from Bertone, then Cruz with quite a few assists. Mane with the assists also. And Green, I think we'll see have a pretty good season next season. He came in late, had some good moments, but I didn't really use him as much. Because I did quite a few sim matches and all that. But you can take a look at the individual growth. Again, you saw Granero has potential to be special. Just take a look here at some of the improvements. But we'll do a bigger squad reports for sure in the next episode for you guys. Bertone up to 68 again, Mane up to 70. A few other guys we'll see leaving. Victor Loa, who's going to be joining Feyenoord. Of all teams, is going to be going there. He's not... I just kind of pushed him out in the end because he wasn't really he wasn't really in the plans for SC Cincinnati in real life, but Soto got up to 66. Amaya up to 68. I mean, I've really been training Soto. I trained Amaya a lot at the start. And also, Reese Park looks like a very promising CDM for us. Smith, of course, has potential to be special. And we'll take a look at We'll take a look at players more next episode for sure for you guys. And again, Granero with that potential to be special. So I think I sorted by morale again for you guys, just because it's kind of weird to see how low morale is, even though we've had a pretty good season in the end. But you know how career mode is with this morale system, and it's just all kind of weird and buggy in my opinion. So hopefully maybe like patch it so it isn't as weird, or I wouldn't mind if it's honestly less important next FIFA and kind of player chats were fixed or rehauled or even I'm not huge on them personally, but either way, with that, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll have the next episode up as soon as possible. We'll see when that happens, but either way, thank you for tuning in. I love you all. I'm missing out now, and I'll catch you guys later.